Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all to today's seminar today. And this is basically a seminar on IELTS, IELTS test, which stands for International English Language Testing System. And I would like to welcome you all to this session today. I call it seminar, but basically this is a question answer session. I'm going to talk, answer to your questions. I got like a lot of questions from many people, so I decided to go for a session, and I call it seminar because I'll talk about the basics of IELTS as well. So I hope this will be helpful to you, especially the people who are trying to seek for IELTS but don't have much idea about the test. And you know that this is a very important test right now in the world, especially for going for higher studies in an English-speaking country. And not only English-speaking countries, many countries, for example, Malaysia now also asking for IELTS test for admission. Also, we need IELTS for immigration purposes when you go to, live in some other country where English is the mother tongue. So this has been a very important test all over the world, English proficiency test. There are many other English proficiency tests, but IELTS is one of the leading ones. Let me introduce myself. My name is Said Ahmed. I work at university in Saudi Arabia right now, and actually graduated from Jahangirnagar University in Bangladesh. After that, I taught several universities in Dhaka, and then I got a Fulbright scholarship and went to the University of Georgia in the US, and then I've been taught at the University of Georgia. After coming back, I joined in a university in Dhaka again, and then I started teaching at King Khalid University in Saudi Arabia. So I've got the experience of teaching English language in 3 different countries and got a kind of experience in teaching in a multicultural environment, which really equipped me with these skills of understanding people, their needs and requirements. Apart from my teaching career, I also, developed a career in IELTS training, which I really feel really interested because when I work with individuals, like individual people who want to take IELTS test, I get to know them. Know their background, their background knowledge in English language. I get to know about their targets in English language. IELTS test. What is the target band score? And what I try to do, I try to bridge up this gap of their current proficiency and the target proficiency. So this is how I work, and I'm gonna tell you all these things about. So this all about me, and I'm gonna share you some screen with you so we can I can show you something over here. Let me show you. Basically, I will be speaking in English, but if you don't feel comfort anybody, then you can easily speak in Bangla. So I can speak in Bangla. I'm speaking English because some people from other countries are joining. So they don't speak Bengali. That's why better speaking in English. Well, that's the screen. I think you can see the screen. A few slides I have prepared for you, which is like all the preparation for IELTS, the points you must know. Okay. Now the point is, many people ask me many questions about IELTS. Many people have don't idea, especially them who are from different other backgrounds, disciplines. They always ask questions because they need this test score to go abroad for higher studies or immigration purposes. Now, we need to know about it. That's the point. The more you know about IELTS, the easier it will be for you to have a better score. So what we really need to know, that's really important. So, for example, a few questions, very simple questions. Let's ask ourselves about these questions and try to get the answer of these questions. Like, what do you know about IELTS? We know that IELTS is an international English language testing system. It's a proficiency test that people need, as I already said, to go abroad for higher studies or immigration purposes. And different countries or different universities has different requirements. we need to know about that. Have you ever taken IELTS? That's a really very important question, because if you don't know about it, I mean, it's going to be difficult for you, but you have already have some ideas, then certainly it will be easy for you, because you have got the ideas and you know what it is about, right? Good. Now, okay, just a minute. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So what was the score that I need to know, especially if I coach you, and if you already took the IELTS before, I need to know, why do you need IELTS for study or immigration? This is a very important question. That's why I put it in yellow color to focus on this. Why you need IELTS? Now, if you're gonna go to study the bachelor degree or master degree or PhD, you need a kind of IELTS which is called academic. The module, IELTS has two modules. One is academic, another is general training. If you go to, I mean, if you're gonna immigrate to some particular country where IELTS is required, in that case, you need a general training, or called GD. Sometimes if you go to study like, short courses, or like, training, sometimes you may require general training. So there are kind of two modules of IELTS. One is general training, another is academic. So you need to decide and need to know which one you need, right? Who can tell you? First of all, the place you are going to immigrate, that country. Of course, immigration is general training, no doubt about that. But for your study, the university you are planning to go, they can tell you. The website will tell you that whether, I mean, which is like, English language requirements. Go to international admission part, or international admission page, you'll find it. What is the target band score? That is also very important. You need to know which one, because some schools have a very high band score, but usually it's very difficult to specify. But 6.5, sometimes 6, not less than 6 in every skill, in every module. That's basically the requirement. When are you planning to take the test? This is also very important. How much time do you have for the test? Okay, because many people talk to me and they said, like, they are busy, like with office, and they do the jobs, but now they're planning to immigrate, but they don't have time to study, right? So this is really important, how much time you have for the study. Now, my point is, when you decide to like take the test, then very important thing is to make a plan. You need to make a preparation plan. When you have, well, I want to sit for IELTS for 1.5 months. After 1.5 months, now how should you use this time? This is really important, right? How should you use this time, and how should you study? Because there are like 4 modules, 4 skills. How you distribute time? If you have already taken one time, so you know that, I mean, which skill you need to focus more on, right? Find some time every day for study. Some people say they don't have time in the weekdays. They have time only on weekends, which is not also a good idea, right? You need to have some time every day, because you need to have maintain a regularity in study. Find a study partner. Very difficult to get a study partner. Some people study in the coaching center, especially in our country, in Bangladesh, basically, right? And maybe some other countries. So they go to the coaching center and they may find somebody. Sometimes 2 or 3 friends like study together, which is also very important. So you need to find a study partner to share with him, right? So what I offer myself in my program, I offer myself like saying, consider myself as your study partner. I'll be studying with you, right? So when I teach somebody, or when I like coach somebody, I never consider myself as a teacher. Rather, I am also a learner that like working with that particular candidate to sit for the test. Collect materials. Materials are available right now. That's a very good thing. You'll find a lot of free materials all over, YouTube and websites. Though some materials are actually locked, you need to pay for that, but you'll find a lot of like free materials. Check websites and YouTube channels. There are so many now uh, IELTS tutors on YouTube, and you'll find their videos. Those are really helpful. Okay, there is no doubt about that, right? Chris Pell, okay, like Jay, like Elizabeth Lees from England. They are really good tutors, and they consider these things from different angles very closely. Get expert support. Very, very important. Why? Because if you study alone, that might not be a good idea. Okay, I'm coming to this point, that how IELTS is different from our traditional learning of English basically in Bangladesh, right? Why an English language major in Bangladesh, I mean, can't get like good score on IELTS sometimes. I'm not saying everybody, I'm not blaming everybody. I myself studied in Bangladesh. I myself like studied in a very simple or traditional Bengali medium schools, not like English medium, of course. And I'm not saying that I'm very good in English. That's a different thing. But I said get expert support. What kind of support? Especially for writing, I should say. When you write, when you practice writing, you need to get it checked by somebody whether you are writing correctly or properly or not. There are a lot of assessment ways, that in the different ways that IELTS will assess your writing. You need to know those descriptors on the basis of what your writing will be assessed. It's not only writing, every skill, reading, listening, you need to know their criteria. And the good thing is IELTS makes it open to everybody. I'll show you after some time that what are the descriptors. If you want to get 7 in writing, what things you need to maintain, what mechanics you need to maintain in writing. Okay, so you need to get like 8, what kind of things you should have in your writing, what kind of grammar, what kind of vocabulary. I'm coming after some time. So you need to get some expert support from somebody who is an IELTS trainer or a coach. Okay, somebody who has this practice of helping people, teaching people, right, and doing it for a long time. So you need to get that support. It's very simple. What is IELTS and what is the format of IELTS? Then you need to know. The academic and general training are almost different, but not totally different, because listening and speaking, these two skills, these two modules are completely same. In academic and general training, there is no difference. They have the same question papers, but for writing and reading, there are some differences, right? So you need to know the differences, which is really very important. The more you know about the format, the more you know about the question papers, easier it will be to get better score. How is IELTS assessed? Really, really very important question. You need to know how it is assessed. And I told you that nothing is hidden for IELTS. Everything is clear. British Council and IGP, given the completely open descriptors, for the candidates. Let me show you something. Just give me a minute. There you go. I'm just showing you one. I'm showing you one. You have everything over there. You can have an idea that how writing 2, task 2, writing task 2 is assessed in IELTS. See, I hope you can see this. Let me a little bit enlarge the screen. Can you see this? Yeah, there you go. Look at this. What is this? See? IELTS task 2 writing band descriptors public version, right? So which paper will get 9 band out of 9, right? Or 8, 7? What they're asking for, there's 4 criteria. Look at this at the headings: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, and grammatical range and accuracy. And every one has 25% of the marks, altogether 100%, right? For example, if you get 8 in your writing, right? Which essay will give you 8? If it has, for example, let me read it out for you, sufficiently addresses all parts of the task, presents a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended, and supported ideas. It means whenever you get a question, your essay addresses all parts of the task, and it presents a well-developed response, and it covers all the parts, and you use all the relevant and extended and supported ideas and examples and logic. Only then it will get 8. And it says when it will get 7 or 6 and 5, so you can have the idea. To get 8, what will be the cohesion and coherence? Coherence and cohesion. What is coherence and cohesion? Coherence and cohesion is actually the relationship, the maintaining the relationship between the sentences, right? When you write the essay, and usually we write like 4 paragraphs, 3 to 4 paragraphs. So what kind of relationship would have? When you shift from one sentence to another sentence, from one idea to another idea. For example, if you want to get 8, sequences information and ideas logically, manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. Okay, only then it will get 8. Let me check like 7. Same, coherence and cohesion. Logically organizes information and ideas. There is clear progression throughout. Uses a range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there may be some under or overuse. Presents a clear central topic within each paragraph. Now this is 7 and this is 8. You can have an idea, right? What about lexical resource for 8? What is lexical? It means vocabulary. Uses a wide range of vocabulary, fluently and flexibly to convey precise meanings. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. Produces rare errors in spelling and or word formation. That will give you 8. What about grammatical range and accuracy? Uses a wide range of structures. The majority of sentences are error-free, makes only very occasional errors or inappropriacies. I will explain everything after some time. Just follow me, I'll get it. I'll show you, the descriptor. This is given by British Council, IDP, University of Cambridge. Okay, so this is the, framework. This is the assessment policy. They will use this policy to assess your writing. It's very simple and clear. So when you start your preparation for IELTS, you need to know these descriptors. Okay, so my target is to get like at least 7 in writing. So I need to maintain these things. This is the 7 level. Okay, so I need to maintain. I want to take like 8. So this everything is a kind of open book exam. Nothing is hidden. Just you need to know, and you need to prepare accordingly. That's it. That will give you the score. There is no personal thing here. There is no emotional thing here. Consider the IELTS examiner as kind of computer. Okay, so that's why I always say it's not difficult. It's not really difficult. Just you need to focus on the needs, the requirements, and need to go forward. What are the marking descriptions? We already did. Okay, right. Let's go to the next slide. I'm a little hurry because I want to have like more important things later. Now comes to the real point. Yeah, see, look at this. IELTS is different from the way we study English language in our country. Our country, by our country, I mean Bangladesh, because I have most of the idea I have from Bangladesh. So I believe that the structure of IELTS, the format of IELTS is different from the way we study English language in our country. Why an English language major scores low on IELTS sometimes? Why? Let's go and see. Why somebody like doing a bachelor and master degree in English get like low score sometimes on IELTS? Why they say IELTS is different? Why sometimes they claim that, well, this is not the way we studied English in school and college? Why? What's the difference? Let's go. And because that will give you the idea how you need to prepare yourself for the test. Okay. There I put some comparison. Traditional practice and IELTS. Traditional practice said that a recording is played several times. When you practice listening, even in the exam, sometimes we play several times. So we know that I have another chance to listen. In IELTS, a recording is played only once. It's not repeated, never. The recordings are almost of the same level of difficulty, not very different, not very difficult. But in IELTS, the recordings have different levels of difficulty. Usually, it starts with the easy one, but as it goes forward, it becomes like harder. Excuse me. For example, in the first track or first recording, basically, it's a kind of telephone conversation, one-to-one, that somebody is calling to a hotel or a resort to book a kind of maybe a villa or maybe a room. So he calls and to talk, and there's some basically fill in the blanks. You listen to that and you fill in the blanks, usually like phone number, the price or some facilities like this. Second part, maybe it's like a conversation between two persons. Third, it might be a kind of map. Somebody is giving you the map. You see the map and somebody is giving you the direction. And there's a question, where is the bookstore? Maybe there's a bookstore. Is it on the right, on the left? Is it behind this? It is opposite the, a bus station, this kind of thing. So you need to in the one time, hearing, you need to maintain that, remember that and put the right answer. Fourth, maybe there's a conversation, like 2-3 persons are involved. A teacher is talking to 2 or 3 students, right? And they're talking about some university matter. So you need to find out then who said what, who said no, who said yes, who agreed to what, who agreed, disagreed or something. So that's kind of thing. Usually the same accent is used. Accent is very important, especially for us because we are not native English speakers. So the people in Australia speak in completely different way from other countries sometimes. When the Americans say today, when the Australians say to die, right? So you need to be familiar with these accents, different accents, how people in different countries, and nowadays it's a global English. Now English is called global Englishes because, all these accents are accepted, like, Chinese English and Indian English and, Arabian English, everything is English. So it doesn't matter who speaks how. The point is the communication, whether the communication is maintained or not. So when you talk to an Arabian, when you talk to Korean, when you talk to Chinese, you need to change your mind that you'll be going to hear something which is not British or American or something else. The most of the cases, same words are used, but same words are never used in IELTS. This is a very important thing you need to keep in your mind. Just make your mind to this, that IELTS doesn't like to use the same word, whether this is reading or writing or listening or speaking. You need to use synonyms all the time. And you need to make your mind that you're gonna see synonyms, especially in readings. In passage and in the questions, they never use the same word. In reading, suppose you get something in the question paper, you read the question, then you go to the passage to find the answer, but you'll find the answer, but with the different words. And you'll be surprised. It's not the word in the question, but this is synonym. So make your mind that you'll never have the same word, both in question paper and in text, passages. Okay, right. Okay, reading. Let's see what's the difference. In traditional practice, as we studied in school and college, sufficient time is given. Most of the time, you don't have problem with time. But in IELTS, time management is a challenge, big challenge. Okay, traditional practice, we start reading the passage from the beginning. We get the question paper and start reading. But in IELTS, that doesn't matter. You don't need to read the whole passage. Rather, we find the answers to the question. That's why we suggest don't read the passage first. Read the question, understand the question, then go to the passage and find the answer. That doesn't matter. You read the whole passage or not. They will never come to see that. They will see whether you put the right answer or not. Okay? It's the right answer. The point is not whether you read whole passage or not. Excuse me, getting like some noise, I guess. Okay. Usually same words are used both in passage as well as in question. As I told you, that it's never happened in IELTS. Generally, we copy from the words from the questions, but it's not possible. You can't copy in IELTS, right? You need to understand, and sometimes even the exact word are not there. You need to understand the meaning and put the answer. When I go in detail, then I can explain to you. Okay, writing, which is the biggest shock, I guess, to most of the people. Traditional practice, we start writing without making a plan. Trust me, this is suicidal. And many people, when they go to IELTS and start doing this, they're going to get a very bad score, because planning is must before starting to write on IELTS. You have to make a plan. For academic IELTS, the people who are going to study, it's really difficult, I must say, because the task one is basically a graph or a chart or something that you need to explain, which is called a report, right? Sometimes people get scared when you see like, 2 or 3, sometimes 3, 4 pie charts, and you need to make a report on that, explaining those charts. Whatever it is, you have 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes for task 1 for academic IELTS writing. Spend at least 5 minutes for planning. Don't think that this time is like the waste of time. No, it's really, if you don't make the plan, start writing, in the middle of the writing, you want to change your write-up, you want to change your plan, that's gonna be suicidal, trust me. So make your mind, if you practice very well at home, it's gonna be very, very easy for you to make a plan within 5 minutes. Doesn't matter at all. Because what we usually do, you need to look at the graphs or the charts, and first of all, you need to find out the main trends or main differences. What are the main features? What are the most common features, especially the highest and the lowest points? That will come in the overall paragraph, which is the second paragraph of the report. We call it overall paragraph. The first paragraph is basically the paraphrase of the statement given in the question. What is paraphrase? Paraphrase is writing the same sentence by using different words, keeping the meaning same. Let me repeat it. What is paraphrase? Paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is writing a sentence in different words by keeping the same meaning. I mean, you will write the same statement, you will keep the same meaning, but you will use different words. It means you need to use synonyms. Okay, sounds difficult? Yes, it is. But if you practice, it's not difficult at all. Second part, I'm talking about IELTS writing academic task 1. Second part is called overall paragraph, where you'll give the main trends of the charts or the pie chart, whatever it is, pie charts or anything, graphs or line, graph or anything like this. Main trends. Okay, then you will go for paragraph number 3 or paragraph number 4, and that will be more analytical discussion that will compare and contrast between the points. Traditional practice, we do not follow the structure, not always. I'm not saying we do not follow, not really should say this, but most of the time maintaining the structure is a must over there. Paraphrasing is not required, but paraphrasing is compulsory in IELTS. We don't focus much on variety of sentences or structures. Using an array of structures of sentences is the strength. If you write all sentences in simple sentence, for example, you wrote like 20 sentences, all simple sentences, trust me, you will not get like good score, maybe not more than 4 or 5. What does it mean? It means you need to write different kinds of sentences like simple, complex, compound. So you need to know how to write, compound sentences, complex sentences. Okay, so that's really important for writing. Sorry. So, okay, now we don't care much about the range of vocabulary. Vocabulary is very important, right? When you see something, there's a graph and you see something which is just 25%, you can write, yes, 25%. But when you see that the graph goes a little higher than 25%, but which is not 30%, how much you will write? It looks like 27%, but is it really 27%? You are not sure. So you need to use some vocabulary saying like almost 27%, approximately 27%, just above 26%. This kind of thing you need to use, and they will look for this. This kind of vocabulary they look for. Good handwriting, clarity, legibility, etc. are not important, but clear handwriting, clarity, legibility, etc. are important. Why? Now the point is, IELTS has 2 kinds of IELTS. One is computer-based, another is paper-based. If it is paper-based that you write by a pencil, maybe, you write by hand with a pencil, then yes, handwriting is very important. It must be clear, it must be legible. If they don't read your write-up, certainly you're not going to get a good score. But if it's a computer-based IELTS, then of course it's different. Handwriting is not that important, but for paper-based, it's really important. Speaking is another big shock for us. Usually in Bangladesh, I'm sorry to say, just except some, English medium schools, we usually do not practice speaking. Speaking in English is not a common practice in our country, but IELTS speaking proficiency in structured format is required, and we need fluency, accuracy, pronunciation, ability to extend the speech, use of higher level of vocabulary, variety of sentence structures. All these things are required for IELTS speaking. And suppose when I ask you, where are you from? And the very first part of IELTS speaking, the examiner asks you, where are you from? You say, I'm from Dhaka, then stop. You keep quiet. The examiner didn't ask you to stop, but you stopped. You said, what should I say? She asked me, where are you from? I said, Dhaka, this enough. But the IELTS expert said, no, don't do this. Don't stop until you are stopped by the examiner. Keep speaking. Show her, show him, you can continue speaking in English. So what do you say? If it's where are you from? And say, I'm from Dhaka, it's the capital of Bangladesh, and you keep saying. It's a very populated country, city, right? It is almost at the center of the country. Then I'm living here for like, since my birth, or I was born here, and I grew up here, I went to school here. Then she will stop. It's okay. So you'll ask other question. When she stops, then stop. Until she stops, keep speaking. That's the point. Because they will see how fluently you can speak, how well you can extend your answer naturally, without problem, without having problem. English departments in many colleges do not have speaking courses in their curriculum. I'm sorry to say this is true. Sometimes they have only 100 English or something, or it doesn't have any speaking course, unfortunately, in our country. That's why some people, a lot of people having a bachelor and master degree in English can't speak English properly. This is not their fault. This is the fault of the system, unfortunately. English is not the medium of instruction in reality, in many places, not everywhere. I'm sorry to say, not everywhere, but many places, this is the reality. So these are the differences I was trying to show how the practice of English that we do in our country, which is different from IELTS. That's why many people uh, don't dare to take IELTS, especially when you need to go for immigration purposes, and they have a long gap of study. Suppose finish their graduation 10 years before. Now they decided to migrate to, for example, Australia or Canada, need to sit for IELTS. He was a good student, right? But now, just for the lack of practice, you know, don't dare, or like feel like feeling like absurd. And sometimes I talk to them and they said, well, again, like study, how should I practice? In especially speaking, I can't practice, you don't have the environment like this. This is true. That's it. Now what I do, that I need to tell you what I do. I mean, if I'm the person to, if I get a candidate for IELTS and who comes to me for coaching kind of thing, what I do, I talk to the candidate and ask them about their goal. Ask them which module of the IELTS they need. Check their knowledge about IELTS and English language. Make a plan of study for each candidate, separately, because everybody has a different background, different English language proficiency, and of course, different learning style. In the plan, I try to bridge the gap between their current proficiency and the skills required to achieve the target band score. I familiarize the candidate with the format, rules, regulations, do's and don'ts of IELTS. I provide a feedback on their performance on a regular basis, especially writing, speaking. I give the feedback. Well, this is your writing, it's fine, but these places you need to change to get your target band score, right? Or speaking, you need to speak this way, right? You need to use this kind of vocabulary. You are repeating the same word. Your pronunciation is like, listen, accent is not that important, right? The point is pronunciation. When you say that E-N-O-U-G-H, E-N-O-U-G-H, this is enough, not enough, okay? And these things, for example, like, essential, which is not essential. But the problem is, this is a much used word in our country, where even the name of a company is like an Essential Products Limited. So when you look at these words regularly on a regular basis, and we start believing that this is essential, not essential, right? So these things we need to focus on. So that is the short presentation that I prepared for you today. I'm not going in detailed everything, because this was basically a kind of introductory. Now I'm gonna go to you and ask you if you have any question. I hope I have some people with me. Yes, the floor is open to you all now. Do you have any question about IELTS or today's presentation, or any slide, or any information I gave you? Please unmute your mic and ask me a question. You can ask me a question in English, you are welcome. Or if you don't feel comfort, then you speak in Bangla as well.
Sir, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course, that's why I'm here.
Sir, I want to know that which part that most of the students are failing. That is, there are 4 module in IELTS, and which part and which module that most of the students fail. Uh, I mean that they don't get the score that they expect. Which module? Listening, speaking, writing, or reading? Which part that most of the students lack?
I understand. I got your question. It's really difficult to answer this question. I don't have any statistics on this. This is very relative. It depends on that particular person, right? That which one he, doesn't feel like, comfortable or something like it. But there is no particular statistics that which one most of the students fail. Some people good in writing, but they find reading is difficult. Some people very good in speaking, right? But getting very low in writing, sometimes opposite. It depends on you. If you're the candidate, it depends on you. And also the difficulty level, right? But as it's not like statistically true, but most of the people, as I talk to them, they find writing, most of the cases they find difficult. But I found such people who are good in writing, but very poor in reading. This is also true. So it's really difficult to say. It depends, I mean, from on the person. It varies from person to person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Sir, I have another question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, that is, how could we, sir, reach our vocabulary, sir? Is there any method to increase our vocabulary, sir?
Of course, you can develop your vocabulary. I mean, first of all, we need vocabulary for every module. Reading, writing, speaking, everything. But basically for writing, because you need to use them in your writing. So, for example, if I coach somebody, like I have a list of like words that are basically used for task one or task two. So I get my students or my the people who study with me, I mean the familiarize with these words, and especially the application of the words. I mean, this is not the solution to memorize the words, actually, because memorization will not work. You need to use them, you need to apply them properly. So especially for subordination words and how to connect the word or giving like additional information. So I have got a long list of words. So I talk to them, familiarize with them. This is one thing. Another thing, if you have longer time to sit for IELTS, suppose you will be sitting after 2 months or 3 months like this. So you can make a, daily habit or daily routine to know vocabulary. So in that case, I would suggest to read like English newspaper every day, at least for 15 to 20 minutes. And if you talk about the Bangladeshi newspapers, I suggest the Daily Star, because Daily Star is the only English newspaper in Bangladesh that works with words. I myself, worked for an English newspaper in Bangladesh for about a year, and I know it's really very good newspaper. So you can study the Daily Star every day, I mean, for 15 or 20 minutes, or some other newspapers. But sometimes be careful. Some newspapers are like, give very confusing words. And I mean, to be very specific, without any offense, I'm just making a airy comment. For example, Hindustan Times in India, I find it not to the up to the standard, frankly speaking, that the use of words. So for Bangladesh, like Daily Star, in India, you will find some other newspaper, of course, good. In other countries, The Guardian, I really like. And New York Times, a little difficult, but The Guardian is a very good newspaper. So you can make a habit of like newspaper, watching like English news channels, for example, CNN or BBC, right? Or English Al Jazeera. Every day, watch like 15, 20 minutes. These things will help you a lot.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Mama, I would like to know what should be the first step for this test, or how should it proceed?
Okay, fine. I mean, I'm speaking English, because other people might want to know the answer.
Definitely.
The point is, when you decide to take the IELTS, as I said in this, okay, for example, this one, this slide, as I said, that why you need the IELTS. Okay, why do you need IELTS for study or immigration? Okay, so first of all, you need to decide why you need IELTS. For higher studies, you're gonna go abroad for master degree maybe, okay? Or migrate to some country like Canada, Australia. First of all, you need to decide that. And then you need to know about this, testing system. As I told you, that how many modules, what kind of questions there are, how many questions, much time. So familiarize yourself. There are so many videos available on YouTube, right? So they give like, clear idea about the test. Then you start like, studying, making a plan, as I told you. If you can handle that at home yourself, do it. Okay, so every day I'll make like 1 hour time, and the weekends I'll have like 2 hours time on Friday and Saturday, right? I'll make this plan like this. But if you need some support, then you can take help from some expert person, maybe some coaching center. Of course, I'm not saying that all coaching centers are good or bad. I'll need to check. Okay, so of course there are some good coaching centers in Bangladesh. Now the British Council is also giving like these lessons, especially online they have, right? So you need to make a plan. You need to make a target of the score that I need to have like, band score 7, for example, or 7.5, because some good universities asking more. Okay. And then you need to make a plan for time that I'm going to sit for it for after 2 months, right? And this is the band score. So the whole thing should be in your plan, and you need to go according to the plan. Okay. And take it seriously. Right. And sometimes taking a mock test is also very important. You can assess your own like proficiency. What is your level right now? So sit for a mock test, okay, or several mock tests, 1 or 2 or 3 mock tests. Then you get the idea that how much you are actually getting. So making a plan is really, really very important, and stick to that. This is how we can start it. And the plan means everything. To know about the test, to know about your target, okay, to know about your target band score, and then start working accordingly. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you.
Welcome. Any other question? I'm here to answer all the questions, no problem. Any more question? Was it clear today's presentation, or there's some part you didn't understand, or you need clarification? You need more clarification? Any part? Any slide? I can go back if you want. I spoke a little faster, I guess, to cover, because I don't like to keep you a long time. Anybody? Any question?
Would you please tell us how should we prepare for the speaking test or writing test?
Well, everything the same way. First of all, you need to know that test. For example, writing. So suppose you're planning to take like academic writing. You're planning to go for a master degree, for example, master degree in some European country. Because, I know your major is pharmacy, right? So European countries, they give like very good, like, degrees in pharmacy. So for example, you need a score of 7. Now, as I told you, if you're writing academic and you check that, that sheet I showed you, right? This sheet, okay? So for example, if you go over there and see that 7. So if you're going to get 7 in writing, what should have in your writing, right? Accordingly, you need to prepare your write-up, and then you should write it, and you should get some expert on IELTS to check your writing. It's really important, because you can't check your own writing. You need somebody to check and give you feedback. They will give you feedback on your writing. Okay, they will give feedback on your writing, that way you need to change this or something like this, right? So this is the important thing. Regular basis, you need to write, get it checked by.
Okay, how should we incorporate this practice in our daily life?
Daily life, actually, as we work in Dhaka or some other places, sometimes it's not like English oriented place. For example, when you work in your workplace, you can't speak in English. There's no environment. You don't need to speak in English. Maybe.
No,
okay.
can't.
Now the point is, but you need to practice in English. And for speaking, for example, you need to practice in English. So try to get somebody at home, okay? Maybe your sister, maybe your brother, or maybe somebody, and make a kind of speaking partner. Maybe you and Naba speaking like, English sometimes. Let's speak for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It's not a bad idea, right? So, or get a friend, like close friend, who'll come to your house, or you can, make a like, call on a messenger and sometimes speak in English. As I said, like, watch the English channels and try to get the, the accent, how they speak. Watch the movies, right? Sometimes, especially on weekends. So make a completely English environment around you. When you have a plan to sit for the test for 2 months, for example, use these 2 months to practice all these 4 skills. Read some English newspaper. Now, you don't need to read, you don't need to buy English newspapers. It is available, online versions are available, right? So when you're in an office, find like 15 minutes and open the Daily Star, for example, and read it. Now, some other newspapers are coming. They're good. For example, Business Standard, which is also a good one. Business Post, and the very new newspaper came 3 months before, I guess, which is also very good. So read them, or The Guardian. Keep it, make it a habit. Okay, this time, 15 minutes, I will read this English newspaper. Trust me, the people who work for IELTS, everybody got a very good score. And a very high score will help you get a scholarship, maybe. Right? So whole environment should be like, English oriented, that every day you spend some time on speaking, some time on writing, some time reading, all together. Apart from your IELTS books, these are your daily life activities.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And now it's very easy. Everything is, smartphone, like, YouTube, like, websites, right? And there are so many websites. And follow my page. My page is IELTS Mentor, and there I'm like posting very important like videos, some links. Okay, so I'll be like keep like posting. So follow the page, inshallah you'll be. And there are so many other beautiful websites and Facebook pages you should like. Then they will keep sending you the new videos and new clips, tips.
Inshallah.
Okay, so make a plan and let me know whatever plan you make. If you really plan to sit for IELTS, let me know. We can sit together and make a plan for you.
Inshallah, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
right. Anybody else? I mean, do you have any other question? Guys, I have got some of my colleagues. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really, really honored to have like Dr. Muhammad Alamgir and Hatem just left, I guess. They all like teach in Khalid University, that the professors here. And I'm thank you so much for joining this session. And I have had like Faisal Mithun, Maria Ehsan, Rezaul Hassan, Sheikot, Sharif, and Hatim. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Please keep following IELTS Mentor, and inshallah, I can give you like new ideas, new plans, and research going on IELTS every time, and it's used, I mean, all over the world. So it's a big test actually. So if anybody plans to sit for the test, let me know. Inbox me in my Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp me. WhatsApp number is there in the poster. So I can help you, inshallah, with whatever I know. If there is no other, well, I've got a chat. Yeah, thank you so much. You are welcome, Dr. Alamgir and Hatim. Thank you so much for joining. If you have no other question or query, I want to leave today and see you later some other day. Okay? So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope your journey with IELTS will be a good one, a great one. Trust me, it doesn't matter whether you studied English, language, or literature in the bachelor level. Some people think that to study some other discipline, it means that I can't do well. This is not true. I found even in the British Council, Bangladesh, the people who, who are teaching, many of them didn't study English language literature in their bachelor. I found them, they came from business or some other disciplines. That doesn't matter. it matters whether you are good in English or not. Can you teach properly or not? Whether you have some teaching certificates or not, whether you scored high on IELTS or not. So please plan high, make a plan and follow it. It will be a great idea, I guess. And I'm here to help you. Whatever help you need, just let me know. I will help you, inshallah. Thank you very much for joining. I will see you again later, some other time. Stay well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.